Hi YouTube. It's update day. We got a big patch today. We got Into the Unjust finally coming out. I've been really excited for this update. This is some good content. This is some good challenging stuff. This is this kind of stuff I want to see added to the game. So I'm super hyped to actually get into this. I have not played any missions yet, so this is all going to be just patch notes reading. I don't know anything about the new units and how they function and how it works. So this is super exciting. First off, the new worlds are going to be called Hive Worlds, and I imagine these are going to be some of the Gloom Worlds, not all of them. They're supposed to be more challenging, have acid lakes, advanced bug spires. There will be holes in the cave roofs that will allow you to call down your stratagems and destructible walls within the caves, and they recommend bringing a flashlight. So I imagine it's going to be dark, we're going to be shooting rockets at walls, and we're going to have limited places to reinforce, and the whole idea of a hole in the cave roof is the only place to call it a stratagem. Also, I would imagine applies to reinforcing. So I imagine these holes in the caves will become very valuable places to call down your resupply, call down your friends, call down some turrets, things to help you out. We saw the Gloomlung in the trailer, which seems like a akin to like a spore, a spore spewer or a shrieker nest, something you have to go in and destroy. Probably needs to be destroyed with a hell bomb or a lot of anti-tank because it's going to be deep underground. So a lot of options go out the window when you're trying to deal with an underground objective, which is going to be the first time in the game that we have to deal with something like this, where you just have no support to really deal with a really durable objective. We're also going to be escorting the Gator mobile rig, which is going to siphon oil from the Gloom Worlds. And if you know something about in the lore of Helldivers universe, is E710 is used to fuel our FTL drives. And in older dispatches, they let us know that the Gloom Worlds had a over 400% E710 content in them. Like, it's straight up just way better to harvest E710 on the Gloom Worlds. So aside from the act of revenge of going into the Gloom, this is a huge tactical choice for Super to go into the Gloom and send us there. All the underground burrowing variants are coming out, the Rupture versions. So we have Rupture Spewers, Warriors, and Chargers. And what's interesting is the Chargers can, quote, tunnel through the ground at high speeds, emerging only to attack. Which is probably what I'm most terrified of, because usually your ability to deal with the Chargers, well, I see it in the distance. Let me take it out. Well, now it's underground. So the whole narrative has definitely changed in combat. Dragon roaches are going to be what is probably going to be called in my videos a Flyal Titan, because I saw a meme on that and it was so funny. I don't know how devastating these are going to be. I've only seen them, in screenshots and little bits of trailer stuff, so I'm not really sure how to deal with these. I think the option that I'm going to try first is I'm going to try launching a spear launcher at it, because that would be the perfect weapon for shooting at something that's flying around in the air that has a lot of health. Well, let's get over to the balance stuff. It looks like we've buffed orbital smoke, orbital EMS. It's going from orbital smoke is going from no AP all the way up to 7. EMS is going from 3 to 7. Um, Orbital EMS could close bug holes. I was just closing some the other day with it. I don't think orbital smoke could, but does increase demolition strength and AP. That's going to allow them to do the same projectile damage and destruction as orbital gas, which means now smoke and EMS can be used to take out, say, a rogue research station. So it gives it a little more utility if you take it, which is good because they're kind of, I don't know, orbital EMS and orbital smoke, I feel like, are kind of weak stratagems, and this is a slight buff to them. They're kind of like last picks. I do them as like a meme. People will want me to do them on stream because they're not that useful. This gives them a little bit more utility, so you're not completely handicapped. They actually can destroy things, and they can destroy things without hurting anyone by just, well, unless they're standing right underneath the orbital strike. Stun is changing. I'm trying to wrap my head around all this. What's going on with it here. It is very interesting. So The stun effects are going to apply on orbital EMS and warrior EMS on the explosion, and not only on the status effect volume, which that means is the impact that the shell hits is going to apply the stun effect and not just the AoE cloud that it generates, which is good. That means they're more responsive at stunning enemies. And all stuns have changed in a way they now initially stagger the enemy they stun, but without ragdolling a player if hit by such an explosion. So it seems like some tweaking to stun so that they stagger and stun, but they don't ragdoll. Now, I don't know what stagger impulse is. I'll be real with you. I have absolutely no idea. Stagger strength, I imagine, is going to be because the stun grenade had no stagger strength, that when they get hit by a stun, they're going to stagger. And there's going to be more stagger on the EMS, mortar EMS, the Hell Pod. I don't know what impulse is. I think impulse might be like a force push away. I'm not sure. I really don't know what impulse is. But I'll test it out. I'll be using stuns and urchins and orbital border EMS. I'll be seeing how that I actually respond to things rather than trying to look that up right now. Down into the fixes here, we've got a few crash fixes. One from the Halo assault rifle. One during joining games, one dropping backpacks. Fixes for the Laz guard dog audio. Some reverb fixes. Fixed hellpods being targetable by guidance system. Now, I don't know if that means like a flying hellpod in the air was targetable by like a wasp or a spear, but it's actually really funny. They changed the stratagem input code for the de-escalator in line with other support weapons. That kind of messes me up because I feel like the de-escalator was one I used a lot, so now I'm like, oh, the code has changed. I think that's the first time. That's the first time I have seen a stratagem code change in this game. Fixed the motivational shock so it no longer applies to enemies. That's great, and that's good to know. Oh, and they fixed the wasp. It no longer fires in semi-auto after firing in artillery mode, which was really, really annoying bug. Oh, that's great, because that makes the wasp better to use. And they fixed the guidance system targeting tanks incorrectly, which I imagine is mostly like the spear targeting tanks wrong. It was definitely not working great. Big fix to automatons. They'll no longer take damage from being dropped from dropships. This was a long-standing bug, and it made the bot front. It can make the bot front very hit or miss because sometimes bots would be showing up dead. Essentially, they would be raining down on you dead from the dropships before they could actually get a chance to fight, which made bots a little bit too easy. And they changed a little bit of pathing on bots and city outposts. And Illuminates will be less likely to warp into big rubble piles, which is also nice because those rubble piles, how the enemies handle it, is hit or miss sometimes. They climb over it very oddly because they have to path over it rather than around it. So that will make the Illuminate show up in more predictable areas where they could be shot in the face. We got some mission changes. Changed the city design of evacuation objectives. Fixed a mission that caused ghost objectives to appear. Oh, they fixed the... I saw this earlier. They fixed the bugged objectives on the end screen where you would see ghost objectives that didn't exist. Now, I don't know if this fixes when it has the wrong objective on it, because I've seen that too. But this will fix the ones that were invisible, which was like... What did we miss? We missed invisible. An issue where automaton dropships and sabotage airbase can be destroyed with the Lift 182 warp pack. That's freaking hilarious that people were using the warp pack to kill automaton dropships. Kudos to whoever did this and found this bug. What do we got here? Charger pathing around certain bug rocks. Flickering shadows. Some movement fixes after marching. Chat typing animations are fixed. Adreno defib status not affecting Helldivers side combat walkers. Oh, that must have been horrible. That must have been really bad. If you get the Adreno defib and then you get in a walker and then it just doesn't work. That would... Actually, wait a minute. That might have been like a buff to that. I don't know. I never really dabbled with Adreno defib, so if it's fixed, it's fixed. And that means it works the way you think it should. And a visual effect with the grenade launcher, which was appearing to have double exploding hell bombs, which I'm all for, but unfortunately it was a double exploding bugged hell bomb. So, totally ready for this update. Totally ready to jump into the gloom, test out the new caves, see the new enemies. It has been a total blast. Thanks everybody who came from Propaganda Commanders, from the algorithm, who popped into the streams and left super chats. I have had so much support. My last day of the month was so big, it was my second biggest month on YouTube. So I have appreciated all the support on YouTube. I am going to continue to post some Helldivers content, especially this week. No specific plans on what I'm going to post because I got to try out all these enemies, but I definitely want to do more loadout videos. And I want to showcase all this stuff in this update with my group. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out, YouTube.